So is it my turn to explain about timer?
Yes, please.
Okay. The time management is very important for, especially for this kind of busy meeting. So when you are a speaker or evaluator or a table topic speaker, please find this symbol, the stopwatch symbol, and keep my face and stopwatch within your screen. And I will show the green, yellow, and red to alert. And I will report the speaker's time after each session, around the end of each session. Is that correct? I'm not sure, but maybe, okay. Okay, that's it. Back to you. Our screen. And I will show the green, yellow, and red to alert. And I will report the speaker's time after each session, around the end of each session. Is that correct? I'm not sure, but maybe, okay. Okay, that's it. Back to you. What is this? Our screen. And I will show the green, yellow, and red.
Do you hear it?
Why the sound? It's repeating.
And I will report the
I guess we are having a technical
meeting
issue.
after session, around the end of each session. Is that correct? I'm not sure, but maybe.
Could you stop, please, the live? Maybe it's the problem.
Just the mic of the timer, and it will be okay.
I guess we're
Now
okay.
it's okay. Now it's okay. Manuel, you can proceed.
I guess we have lost connection with the Toastmaster Emmanuel. Toastmaster, do you hear us? Emmanuel.
No, he is not here.
Yeah, I guess he have connection issues. So maybe I will continue presenting the tag members, waiting for him to come back. So the second member among the tag team who will be helping us to assess our grammar and the communication, and will be playing the role of grammarian, is Linda Adu from Kenya. Linda, could you please present your role?
Sure. As grammarian, I will be paying attention to the English usage, and if there's any correction, good words used. And the word of today is agog, which means with great excitement. So you can use it during your speech, and I'll also put it on the chat.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. And yeah, it is with agog that we are attending this meeting. Thank you, Linda, for presenting the role of grammarian. And the last member of the tag team is the accounter, who will be fulfilled by Adiba Matur from Eloquent Leaders in Morocco. Adiba, could you please present your role?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. A good speech is a speech without any overuse of fillers. Can be sounds or words, or even sometimes repetitions. So, fellow Toastmasters and very esteemed guests, my role today is the accounter. I will help all the role players to pay close attention of the overuse of those fillers. So please try to avoid them. Use some pauses, not too much. And I wish you all the best during this meeting. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Adiba, for presenting the role of accounter. It is true that we have to pay attention to this kind of sounds that we use, which make our messages or the things we want to say understandable by other members. So thank you for presenting the rule. And for the guests who are not acquainted with our meetings are divided into 3 parts. The first part is the part of the prepared speeches part, where we'll be having members who will deliver speeches using or relying on the Pathways program. So they prepare speeches, they prepare projects, and they deliver it here in front of our members. And the second part is the part of the improvisations, because we not only work on our skills of delivering prepared speeches, but we also work on our skills of improvisations. And the last part is the part of evaluation, where our speakers will be evaluated by other members, our other skilled members who will be delivering evaluations for them. So this is the form of our meeting, and without any delay, we will go directly to the first speaker, who is Hanan, Toastmaster Hanan, who will be delivering her speech, which is the second project, evaluation and feedback from the level 1. Hanan is the actual president of Rabat Toastmasters clubs. She's among the members who are proactive within the community here in Morocco, within the Toastmasters community. She is actually the president. She has been the vice president of relationships in the last year, and she have accomplished many things being the VPR of the club, especially a local newsletter here in Morocco, where members can share their stories and experiences. So Hanan, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Toast. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, for this introduction. Times when you thought you could not make it. Doesn't sound as a title of a song or a movie. I'm afraid that I couldn't find a short title for my speech. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, there were many times when I thought I couldn't make it, when I felt unable, incompetent, and my brain just stopped thinking. 20 August 2001, I was just 16 years old. Please, don't guess my age now. I participated in the Moroccan Youth Forum for the 3rd millennium. This forum gathered people from 15 to 25 years old who are the best in each field: education, media, sport, art. I wasn't invited because I was the best student, but I was the best student of my class, not the best student of my town. But I represented the Youth Association in the category of social work. And when I was attending one of the seminar, suddenly a journalist came to me. Excuse me, do you mind to answer a couple of questions? It will be aired on the news tonight. Wow, me on the national TV, sounds good. Especially on that particular day, I was wearing my favorite dress and my hair was curly. Not naturally, but because my friend just gave me an interesting recipe. Ladies, do you know that rinsing your hair with Coca-Cola make your hair more wavy? Yes, it works. And in 5 minutes, I had the curls as Beyonce. So with confidence, I was waiting in the corridor, and when my turn came, the journalist just asked me, Miss, what do you think about this forum? Give us your review. Wow, that was right. I thought that there will be some introduction, they will give me a hint, or told me how I'm supposed to answer. I was naive. So all of a sudden, I became stressed. I couldn't answer. 5 seconds has passed, and the journalist, please, miss, go ahead, look at this camera. Then I started to improvise. and words came to my mind. It was like another version of me who was talking. That night, I received many calls from my father and family. Hanan, you were on the news. And even my classmates in the high school. Hanan, that was you? I couldn't recognize you. You look different. Your hair, what did you do to your hair? Few years later, during a job interview for a multinational company, I was doing my best, answering questions well, but it was demanding. You know, in Morocco, our second language is French, so conducting the whole interview in English was challenging, especially for a business English. So I was afraid if I could not reply or understand because of the lack of my vocabulary. In addition, my interviewer, as native speaker, she was talking fast, and I had to listen attentively to understand. Eventually, I didn't get the job. But I was happy because the interview went smoothly. I expected many moments of silence, but it didn't happen. They even prized my English. Wow, your English is good. Where did you learn it? So for me, it was like an English test, not a qualification.
Toastmaster Hanan, please unmute yourself.
Finally, my drive license. The day of the practical test, my instructor just told me, you will not succeed. Just pray to God to help you. Wow, that was encouraging. You can imagine the hard time that I had to prepare for this lesson, especially with an annoyed and irritated instructor. So the day of the test, I was shaken, scared to death. And I just told myself, Hanan, you can do it. You are not going to fail. Don't care about him. You overcome many challenges. I will not to fail today. I will pass. So I held down the clutch, moving slowly with my car. I was controlling my car, following all the signs, and I passed. My instructor told me, you were lucky. I don't know why men, not all of them, but the majority, have this convention that women could not drive. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, there will be many times when you think you cannot make it, when you feel down. Some of you will just stop and give up, others that they will try their best. But even when you try your best doesn't mean that you will succeed. So just try, because what is matter, it's the experience itself. Trust yourself, believe on yourself. 2 weeks ago, I thought that I couldn't make it with this international meeting, but this is happening now, thanks to you, because of you. You have to try. We live just once. Please try and live the life to the fullest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Hanan, for this motivational story. We felt that experience through your story, the experience of going or passing the exam of the driving exam. So thank you for sharing your story with us. Please leave some comments for member Hanan regarding her speech privately in the comment section.
1 minute.
Thank you. Madam the Zone Master, thank you for this lovely sound. The second speaker among our speakers is Dice Kono from Japan. Dice has started Toastmasters in 2017 and also a member of Tokyo Midtown Toastmaster Club, where he's the president and also Toastmaster, roommate Toastmaster. He also was a finalist in District 76 Japanese contest in 2020, and he will be delivering his level 3 project to connect with storytelling during this meeting. He has chosen as a title, "You Are on Mute." Mr. Dice, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. It's time for that big presentation. You have the entire audience staring at you. Of course, it's all on Zoom, but you've been practicing for weeks. You got this. Lights, check. Camera, check. PowerPoint, check. Well, they say that the first 30 seconds are the most crucial. So you take a deep breath and then, hey, you're on mute. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, does this scene seem familiar to you? Yes, we've all been there. If there's any good that this terrible pandemic has brought upon us, it's the accelerated age of communication. As we speak, I sit here in my home in Tokyo, Japan, enjoying a live meeting hosted by my friends 11,500 kilometers away in Rabat, Morocco, attended by a diverse audience from around the world. And with the proliferation of this wonderful new technology, the 3-word phrase, "You're on mute," has risen to prominence, and by some measures was the most popular business phrase of 2020. Now, the thing about being on mute is that you could potentially be talking and talking without realizing that no one can hear you, right? But did you know that long before the advent of the Zoom era, you could have been putting yourself on mute, even in good old-fashioned face-to-face communication? Well, I learned this the hard way. One day in the year 3 BC, and that means 3 years before Corona, at my office, I was in a one-on-one meeting with Mary, who was on my team, and she was a meticulous, hardworking, always serious person. Now, this meeting was what we called a year-end review. Like many companies, we have an appraisal scale from 1 to 5. Most people would be a 3, which means that they've met their goals. A few would exceed expectations and be given a 4, and a further handful a 5 for exceptional performance. Now, Mary's always done an excellent job, so I had rated her a 4 the previous 2 years. But that year, I decided to go with a 3. Now, as described, this didn't mean that she did anything worse. It just meant that she's met my expectations. But the moment she heard me quote this number, her face turned red with anger. Her eyes started tearing, and she said in a trembling voice, "Why are you downgrading me? What have I done wrong? You've always told me that I did a great job." I tried to explain my reasoning, but she wouldn't buy it. Just to get myself off the hook, I found myself trying to dig up some minor negative that I wouldn't have otherwise even mentioned, but that only added fuel to the fire. What was supposed to be a quick 30-minute meeting turned into a 3-hour emotional ordeal. Well, in the end, I did not change the rating, and she stormed out of the room. Needless to say, I knew a deep chasm had developed between us. Well, I was shaken by this event, to say the least. I've always strived to give positive, supportive communication to everyone, I said to myself. What went wrong? Well, I couldn't figure it out. So I decided to call Tom. Now, Tom was a young, smart guy who used to be on my team and subsequently moved to a different department. He was a straight shooter and I trusted him. Hey, Tom, be honest with me. Is there something wrong with the way I communicate with my team? Oh, well, I think you're nice and you always tell people that they're doing well. So there is no problem, is there? Well, that is kind of the problem. You see, after a while, we're not hearing what you're saying, if you know what I mean. Well, Tom's words just hit me like a ton of bricks. He was right. In my eagerness to always be supportive, I found that what I tended to do was just give words of praise, and lots of it at that. It's just like hitting the old like button on Facebook on impulse. What I didn't do enough of, though, was to give positive feedback. Now, there's a subtle but important difference here, and it's like a mirror image of criticism versus constructive feedback. Now, as Toastmasters, you probably all know this. Feedback should not only be supportive, it should be specific and suggest possibilities for further growth. So if I had done this consistently, I think Mary would not have taken it so badly in that meeting. In other words, by spoon-feeding sugar-laden words of praise all the time, I was putting myself on mute. Well, some days later, I sat down with Mary and I apologized that my communication had not been adequate. I explained that as she grew, so did my expectations. So what I thought was great in previous years felt was good that year. Well, I think she understood. I'm happy to say that Mary still works with me and we have the best of relationships. And since then, I tried to provide specific feedback to all my team members in both positive and negative situations. So dear friends, do you sometimes get the feeling that you're trying to be supportive to those around you, but somehow not getting through? Please don't give up. I do believe supportive communication helps people grow. But it's worth checking that little mic icon to make sure that you're always online. Because in the real world, people don't shout out and tell you, hey, you're on.
Thank you, Toastmaster Days, for this speech. I really like it. I mean, how you brought some informative subjects and you used storytelling in order to shed some light about how to deliver constructive feedback. So thank you so much for this story you have shared with us about being on mute and being online. Thank you, Dice, and please leave some gifts to Dice. Encourage him, give him some advice, give him some constructive feedback, please.
One minute.
So our next speaker is from India. Jai Narayan. Jai is a qualified architect and a graphic designer who have lived for 17 years in Japan. Before having an accident where he lost his sight and returned to India. He's a trainer, speaker, and he has been a Toastmaster for 3 years. Please, all of you, welcome Jai Narayan.
Have you ever learned a leadership lesson when you least expected it and from the strangest of places? Well, nearly 30 years ago in the mid-90s, I was living and working in Japan. One beautiful and brisk autumn weekend with bright blue skies and white fluffy cottonwool clouds floating around, my Japanese friends and I decided we would go trekking up the nearby mountains. Now, I was all agog with excitement because fellow Toastmasters and friends, autumn is famous in Japan for the changing colors of the mountain. There is even a Japanese word for it, and it's called koyo, when the verdant greens of summer magically transform into vivid and vibrant hues of red, yellow, orange, and gold of autumn. In fact, Japan being 70% mountainous, this transformation from summer to autumn is quite spectacular. Well, my friends and I, we've been trekking up for an hour, and halfway up the mountain, we were sitting around in an open air clearing or rest area for mountain climbers and hikers. There were plenty of automatic vending machines for hot and cold beverages, yes, outdoors in that area. And as I was relaxing there, sipping my cool and refreshing drink, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a monkey suddenly appear from the side of the mountain and run up to one of the machines. He was large, must have been an alpha male. Now, seeing the look of surprise on my face, my Japanese friend said, Jai-san, odoroku koto wa nai desu yo. Jai, there is no need to be surprised. Kono yama wa saru yama to iimasu. Saru ga takusan iru yo. This mountain is called Monkey Mountain, and there are plenty of monkeys here. However, my surprise turned to amazement when I observed this large monkey pick up some coins from a tray, drop it into the slot, ponder a moment for a drink of his choice, press the button, pick up the can as it dropped, run off to a stone bench and open it deftly and start drinking. My amazement then turned to astonishment when upon finishing the drink, this monkey ran up to a waste paper basket, dropped the empty can into the basket and disappeared into the mountain. Seeing my look, my Japanese friend said, Jai-san, saru miru, saru suru. Monkey see and monkey do. Ladies and gentlemen, that beautiful autumn day high up on a mountain in Japan, I learned my first lesson on leadership from a monkey. Followers do what followers see. A month later, early one morning, I was walking to a nearby train station from my apartment. There was not another soul in sight. No birds in the sky, not even a butterfly, and no traffic on the roads, not even motorbikes. As I approached the station, I noticed a lone Japanese man waiting to cross the zebra crossing. The light was red, and he had no idea I was approaching him from behind. So when I reached the spot, I told him, Kotsu wa nai kara watatte mo ii desho? Since there is no traffic, should it not be okay to cross? He looked at me rather strangely and said, Iie, shingo wa akai kara machimasu. Yokattara douzo? Which is no, since that signal is red, I shall wait. If you wish, you may cross. That morning, ladies and gentlemen, rather sheepishly and embarrassedly, I waited. And a few minutes later, when the light changed, we crossed together. And I learned a very important second lesson on leadership from a stranger. And that was, leadership is doing what you have to do even when nobody is watching. So leadership is a power of influence. And I learned that from the monkey and from the stranger. As Dr. John C. Maxwell once said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Now I look at it as concentric ripples of water formed on the surface of a pond or a lake when you drop bling, a pebble into the pond. You and I are that pebble in the pond. And radiating outwards from us are those circles of influence. The innermost circle being our private circle. That would be our near and dear ones, family, a mother or a parent and a child, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, if you're in that kind of relationship, spouse, of course, right? So that would be the innermost private circle. Just outside of that would be the personal circle of our friends. Outside of that would be my professional circles of colleagues and workmates, and the outermost one being public spaces. When you are at, for example, an airport lounge or a hotel lobby or a shopping mall, you would be influencing people around you with your words and actions and behavior. So the circles of influences radiating out from us would be our private, personal, professional, and public. And that is the power of influence. I learned that lesson from that monkey high up on a mountain in autumn in Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all remember that as leaders, as speakers, as trainers, as coaches, as mentors, both within and without or outside of Toastmasters, we have that role to play as role models, because our circle of influence impacts those who are watching us, observing us, and looking up to us as leaders. Let us all remember, ladies and gentlemen, as that monkey taught me in autumn in Japan, followers do what followers see. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay Narayan, for your wonderful speech, for your motivational speech, and for sharing with us your wisdom regarding how to use effectively leadership to influence people who are surrounding us for the better. Thank you so much for your speech. And please, ladies and gentlemen, leave some gifts for Jai for his wonderful speech.
Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana.
1 minute.
Thank you, Madam the Zone Master. Our fourth speaker is Toastmaster Grace Amuka from Nigeria. She's an accomplished educator, trainer, and a coach. And when she's not working at her job, she's a huge fan of journalism and fashion design. And she will be delivering her Project 1 Level 4 project, Managing Projects Successfully. She have chosen as a title, Love and Action Word. Grace, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I am filled with a gog, having the privilege of presenting my speech today at the Rabat Toastmasters Club. The Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests. I'm sure every one of us have handled one project or another at some point in our lives. Well, even if it's just being the admin in charge of a WhatsApp group. I recently saw a post on how to include that role as a relevant work experience. So rather than say, I own a WhatsApp group, you can say, I chair a virtual hub of 200 digitally innovative professionals championing gender equality and advocacy in sub-Saharan Africa. Whatever your experience in managing people and projects, you have opinions as to the important skills required from leadership, communication, scheduling, risk and cost management, negotiating, critical thinking skills, and a host of others. In carrying out my project in the last activity here, however, I realized a higher way that ties all these skills together, especially in the sector that I work in. For the past few years, I have invested my time and resources working with children in underserved communities. These children come from families that live below the poverty line in my country. There is nothing inspiring them to live better lives, and the predictable future is one of poverty, early child marriage, and other ills if this cycle continues. Having realized that these children and humans generally can never aspire to more than what they see, hear, and experience, therefore, we needed to recreate a world by exposing them to new realities. This project, carried out by my team and I, proposed and implemented an excursion as a premier project to introduce these children to a world of limitless possibilities. They had their first ever exposure to an innovation hub here in the city and had their first ever virtual reality experience. The reports from them were mind-blowing. And in the words of one of the stakeholders, we had given these children a chance to dream. As an educator, I understand the power of education beyond the walls of a classroom to transform the lives of individuals, communities, and nations. And this is what we did for these children. I learned 4 core lessons in planning, building, and leading a team through the execution of this project. These lessons made me understand the most important element in carrying out projects in the social impact space that I work. This element is love, a 4-letter word that has been used more than any other word in the history of mankind. In the spirit of St. Valentine's Day, I'll share my lessons using the acronym LOVE. First, listening. This was the first thing I needed to do. I needed to pay attention to the people I was serving to understand what their needs were. I could not just make assumptions, but truly listen. A greater skill I'm also learning to adopt is listening more with my heart and not just my ear. That way, I am able to hear both the spoken and unspoken words. I also had to listen to my team members for their opinions, which helped us achieve a more successful project. During the execution of this project, I realized that my team members, having their regular day jobs, did not have time to attend meetings during the day. So we had to have our meetings later in the evenings. In building this team, I asked to understand what their strengths were and areas they would be valuable to the execution of this project. As leaders, we need to understand that we are not the only custodians of knowledge. To be successful at leading teams, we need to make sure everyone's voice is heard. Which leads me to the second lesson, opportunities. When I listened, I was able to see the opportunities that existed within my team and the community I was working with. Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you will miss them. They are obvious only to those who look out for them. Also, it was Leonard that said that an opportunity of a lifetime must be seized within the lifetime of that opportunity. This, to me, speaks to the importance of timeliness. To be able to achieve our goals on this project, everything had to be done in a timely manner. This is very important in any project we're executing, keeping to time. The third lesson, vulnerability. And I'll tell you that vulnerability is neither winning nor losing. It is having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcomes. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. During the execution of this project, a team member shared something personal she was going through at the time. It made other members of the team open up, and we experienced the humanity of all of us beyond simply coming together to execute a project. We were also able to understand how best to support each other. And finally, empathy. This caps everything up. My mentor used to say, an empty pocket can never stop you from making a difference. Only an empty head and an empty heart can. We understood the predicament of the children in these communities, felt it, and were moved to action. In a world filled with so much pain and uncertainties, we need love as leaders to make our world a better place for us and the people around. Love is indeed beyond the 4 letters. It is an action word. Happy St. Valentine's Day, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace, for sharing with us your recipe to making this project success. Love in Action Word was the title and also the recipe. Listen, opportunity, vulnerability, and also empathy. Please leave some comments for Grace privately in the message section.
Love life in a routine. Passion is your gasoline. You have the fire in you. You can say yes, you can say no. Change and feel like a yo-yo. Make some mistakes, have no regrets, but don't forget to be yourself. Sometimes people say you're bizarre. Et alors? You are who you are. Don't care about it. You're just magnifique. And love yourself. C'est fantastique. Tu peux être sans dessus-dessous. Au-dessus de tout. Sans cesse déçu. La vie reprendra le dessus. Sans sous-entendu. Le sais-tu? Love life and no routine. Passion.
1 minute.
Your gasoline.
Thank you, Madam the Toastmaster. The 5th speaker among today's speaker is Sharif Mihaz, who will be delivering a mock speech contest, which means he won't be delivering a Pathways project speech. He is the president of Natal Toastmasters Club in Sri Lanka and also the vice president membership of Qatar's Toastmaster Clubs. He will be delivering a speech titled Chocolate Cake Master. Sharif, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Before I begin, I just want to check if I'm visually and if I'm visible and if
you look good.
Perfect. All right, brilliant. Imagine placed in front of you a delicious, delicate, delightful chocolate cake. A cake that you really want, a cake that you really need, a cake that you know if you eat, you are going to feel happy. When all of a sudden, a monster appears out of nowhere, grabs the cake and eats it slowly. Toastmaster of the day, and all of you who, like me, love cake. When I first practiced this speech in front of my nephew, he said, Sharif uncle, monsters aren't real, they're lies. Well, he was right, except there is a very real monster, a monster called regret, waiting to eat away at your happiness. Now, like I mentioned, I love cake. In fact, I love all food. I don't discriminate when it comes to food. I'm simple. You show me food, I eat. Now, one fine day around 18 years ago, I was walking home from school when I saw a board that said, chocolate cake for 50 rupees. Now, 50 rupees isn't much money, but back then when my dad was my ATM, my investment decisions had to be very smart. I stared at the board agog. I went in and I told the shopkeeper, please give me the chocolate cake. He looked at me and said, sir, Why, sir? Why chocolate cake? Every time chocolate cake? Try this tamarind drink. Very good drink, sir. You drink it, you will not drink any other drink after that. His Toastmaster skills were pretty good. I was persuaded. So I went for the tamarind drink. I was not agog. I almost gagged, ladies and gentlemen. He was right. I was not going to drink any drink after that for a while. That night and many nights after that, I lay in bed thinking about the chocolate cake I should have had, thinking about the tamarind drink I should have not had. Have you bought something that you have regretted? Gentlemen, is there something in your room right now that you're looking at thinking, oh yeah, that should have not been bought? And then you look at the person who convinced you to buy it and you think, maybe I should have not got into this marriage. Ladies, do you look back at the same person and think, yeah, I wish I could do an exchange at the store right now? See, our battle with this monster called regret does not only happen to be with material things. It can also be our life decisions. From that schoolboy, fast forward to quite a few years to 2018 when I landed in Qatar for the first time. I was going to get a job. The first month into my job search, I got a pretty decent offer. But I thought to myself, prospects look bright. So let me patiently wait for a better opportunity. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And I was still jobless. Let me tell you this. Being broke in a foreign land, ladies and gentlemen, is not something that I would recommend to do for fun. Now, during this time period, I felt unhappy. I felt sad. I felt angry. I felt frustrated. I thought about that opportunity that I missed out. I regretted not taking that offer. That's when my father called me up and said, Sharif, that decision not to take that job, not the wisest of moves. You get that from your mother's side of the family. But I do believe if you stare too much at closed doors, you will miss out on the opportunities that come through open doors. You made a choice. You have to live with it. Instead of regretting about it, find ways to work on your skills to look for a better opportunity. My dear friends, he was right. I missed out on one opportunity, but I spent so much time regretting about it, I was losing out on other opportunities, on ways to focus, to find better opportunities. Has this happened to you? Remember the time when your VP Education, 2 weeks before the meeting, told you, you're doing a speech today, in 2 weeks? And on the day of the meeting, in the car, you're practicing the speech and you think to yourself, I regret taking this opportunity. I shouldn't have done this. And the VP Education regrets giving you a speaking slot. Has this happened in your profession? Has this happened in your personal lives? When you've regretted something that you've done or something that you did not do. See, the chocolate cake is yours. It is your happiness. It is your joy. It is your success. Do not let a monster grab that cake and eat it on behalf of you. Because you deserve to be happy. You deserve all the joy. You deserve all the success. It is not our mistakes that define us. but how we learn from our mistakes. It is not our choices that define us, but it is how we react to the circumstances that arise from our choices. So don't let that monster eat your cake. Don't let regret define your fate. Toastmaster of the day, back to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sharif, for this motivational, but also for these wise words regarding guilt and how to cope with it. Please leave some comments for Sharif Mihaz privately.
One minute.
Thank you, Madam the Timer. Thank you all for witnessing and attending this section of prepared speeches section. Madam the Timer, is there any disqualifications?
Everyone has been qualified. Congratulations.
Great. A big
Is there a
applause
report
for
time?
our speakers. I guess we will leave it till the end of the meeting.
Okay, everyone is qualified.
Okay, so please vote for the best speaker of today's meeting. You will, Madam the Zoom Master, could you please show the poll? Do you all see the poll in front of your computer? Okay. Have you finished or completed voting, all the participants? Madam the Zoom Master, do we have the results of all the participants?
Yes, Toastmaster Taha.
Okay, thank you, Hind. So now, without any further delay, I will leave the floor for the Toastmaster, the table topics master of today's meeting, Madam Rania, Toastmaster Rania.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I just want to check, am I audible? Okay, thank you so much. Love is the key to diversity, right? Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests from all around the world, welcome to this memorable, amazing Rabat Toastmasters second international meeting. Here is Rania Leila from Egypt, the land of fairs. And I'm so delighted to take this role of this most amazing, entertaining section, the table topic section, which gives a great chances for all the members and the guests as well to practice the impromptu speaking, how to speak on the spot, without any further preparation, without any previous preparation, just or previous thoughts. And now, as the whole world is celebrating the Valentine's Day, I will take this chance to spread love and love speeches and positive and loving, compassionate, understanding attitude in this section with you all. And as a female, I would like to ask for any one of you to give me a gift. What do you think about this? You don't want to give me a gift? It's okay, rest assured, I'm not gonna ask it. I was kidding in general because I just ordered my big expensive Valentine's Day and I sent that check to my husband and I really don't know how he's gonna deal with this, but it's okay. The most important thing, I got my gift, right? And now, for you all, I will send you this heart to remind you with this beautiful, amazing, loving, compassionate, and memorable meeting. And without any delay, let's get the ball rolling and choose some volunteers to spread love with each other in this meeting. Who's gonna volunteer? Or I should pick up myself, some participants? And yes, I feel a gog. I just forget to say this. I feel a gog in this meeting as well. Okay, so I will choose some, not victims. Do we have volunteers?
Yes, Lisa from Singapore.
Okay, I just want to see you just a second.
This is me.
Hello, where are you? Lisa? Okay. Okay.
I give you my help.
Yes. Thank you so much. I will appreciate that. How are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. How about you?
Just great. Thank you so much. Now, please tell me, when did you last sing to yourself or to someone else? Sing.
Sing.
Sing the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Table Topic, Madam Table Topic. I always sing for myself. In fact, every day I sing. Because sing is not only when you are happy, but when you are also sad. So fellow Toastmasters, actually when you want to expose and to tell the people about yourself, the best way is by singing. Sometimes nobody will listen to you, but you can listen to yourself. And talking to yourself just like, hey, actually I'm hungry. Let's do it by singing. Hey, I'm hungry now. Can I have some food? I want to eat. Yeah, just make like a some rap or something like that. Just make a sing for yourself. Or maybe when you are heartbroken, or maybe when you are so happy, you also can have a love song or heartbroken song, maybe something like that. But I love to sing. Every day I sing, even my voice is very bad. But I sing for myself. I sing for everyone. I sing for the world. I sing to get the love, to get the love of everyone. And I feel ECOC. When you are singing, ECOC come to your life, and it's a wonderful one. So everyone, as a Toastmasters, don't just speak, but sing. Sometimes you also just need to put a melody in our speech. Let's sing together, and love is in the air, love is in the air. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
That was awesome. You know, I have also a very bad voice. I'm trying to fly me to the moon. Okay, I can use my singing after the meeting. Now, who's next? Who's gonna be our next speaker, improviser?
Toastmaster Marius and Toastmaster Kamal have put up.
Mo. Hello, Mo. It's you again. Mo Kamal.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm great. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's Valentine's Day. What do you expect?
Yes. Now, please tell me, why do you think people should love you? Why do you think people should love you? Mic is yours.
Inside me, when I look at people and I look at myself, I try to listen to myself and talk to myself. And then sometimes I have a meeting with myself. So I wake up in the morning, imagine guys, you wake up in the morning and the first person you speak to is yourself. So between us, we have two people. You have another person inside that tells you not to do things, but you want to do other things. And you have a fight between that person. You have to be friends with yourself, and to love yourself is you decide in the morning, say, look, let's be friends and let's date together. Let's do what you want to do. And then you start to love yourself and you start to believe in yourself. And when you face other people with that smile and that happiness, people will feel that you love them and they love you back. Imagine, is anything more precious than a lovely smile on a child's face? Imagine that a child, when he's giggling and looking at you with that lovely face. So inside everybody, there's a child. And that child actually takes us to that's when they were born. So if you find somebody angry, what you have to do is to take that person to the childhood and make them happy, and you can see the smile coming from them. And that's what you call love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very inspiring and impressive as well. Thank you. Now, who's next? Okay, Joe Little. Okay, Joe.
Yes.
Yes. How are you?
I'm well, thank you very much, Rania.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, and you can whisper in my ears. Okay. Okay. How many times have you this moment? This is the one. Many times? Okay.
As I look at you right now, I'm starting to think that it's right now.
Ouch. Okay.
But had today not happened, my fellow Toastmasters from all around the world, I have that feeling many times in a day, even in the most mundane of situations. You see, I'm actually cherishing moments like that because I don't get to leave the house very much. And not because of COVID, but because it's February. I live in Canada. Are any of you cold even just hearing me say that? So the few times I do leave the house and I go into a store and I'm trying to compare cans of tomato sauce, I think, is this the one I want today? Or is that the one I want today? It doesn't register as a moment of grand love or life-altering emotion, but it's a choice, isn't it? And so when I hear that phrase, is it the one? I don't think so much of only Valentine's Day and only a love decision about one romantic partner in some grand way. It's about every little decision. And isn't it true that our life adds up to a series of little decisions? I don't know if you thought, Rania, that you were going to hear about tomato sauce cans today. But as I think about, is it the one? I realize that my life is made up of a bunch of little decisions, and the best one I've taken was joining you folks this morning. Thank you so much for having me. Happy Valentine's Day.
That was unexpected and thought-provoking. Thank you so much for your answer. Thank you. And now, JJ, are you there? Okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay. What was the best gift you ever received and why? What was the best gift you ever received and why you consider it as the best gift?
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. I'm still thinking what was the best gift I have ever received. So thinking back to my young ages and still up to now, I don't remember I got a gift that brings me a best. Because I was not so much impressed, but the feeling that I got from the gift, the message comes together. The gift, whatever gift it means to the giver, the message is for the taker. So One day, my mother bought a car for me, but that doesn't impress me still, so I don't take it as a best gift in my life. And one day, my wife bought a new electronic device like cell phone or smartphone, and that is very brand new, but it still doesn't impress me. It's the best. I don't know why she or they gives me a gift, but I take the message. They didn't impress me so much. But sometimes my daughter gives me a small kiss on my cheek. Oh, that freaks me out. Oh, that's great gift for me. And that is enough. And I love my daughter. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
That was very profound. I can give you this heart. I'm trying to impress you as well. It's okay. Now, who's next? Who's gonna volunteer? Yes, Marius, is that right? I'm pronounced it right?
Absolutely correct. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you for being here with you guys.
Thank
for having me.
Now the question is, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, and the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? I will repeat this again. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, your future, or anything else, what would you want to know? Mike is yours.
Thank you so much for the question. And just on a side note, I'm also in Canada, cold, freezing. And there's a lot of crystal things here outside. But it all started when I moved to Canada about 5 BC, 5 years before Corona. And I joined the club where one day there was presented something that I just loved so much that I think that was going and will always influence my life. What was it? It was a beautiful, dark, very tasty chocolate cake. Yes. Do you like chocolate cake, guys? It was fantastic and super tasty. Well, it was something in the line of agog, if I use the word right and pronounce it correctly. And to answer your question, because at the end of the day, I should answer the question that I'm giving in the Toastmasters table topics question. What the future has in store for me, I don't know. Today here, I've learned so much about monkeys, what happened in 2001 when I myself was 16 years old, but don't count my age. So we will see what happens AC after Corona. Thank you so much. Back to you.
You're just doing a great job in listening skills. You know, you should be the harp master of the meeting. You just quote many things from all the speakers in this meeting. That was very impressive. Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you.
And now, I would like to check with the timer. How much time do I have left? How much do I have?
I think it's already, the meeting is shifted longer, so I recommend you to conclude.
Okay, thank you so much. You're very kind. Okay. Thank you so much, dear participants, dear improvisers. You just taught me a lot with your beautiful and inspiring, impressive, lofty and profound inputs. Thank you so much. And I would give you this heart for all of you and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Yeah. And from the timer, all 5 table topic speakers are eligible.
Great. That's good news. So I guess we will, before moving to the last section of evaluation, we will vote for the best improviser, the best table topics improviser. So Madam the Zoom Master, please show us the, yes. Please vote for the best improvisers of today's meeting.
No matter where you go in life, you gonna need somebody to stand by you. No matter how much money you got, all the friends you got, you gonna need somebody to stand by you. When the night has come and the land is dark and that moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid.
The last section of today's meeting is a bit the serious section where we will be having some constructive feedbacks from our evaluators, and it will be conducted by Toastmaster Emmanuel, who is the general evaluator of today's meeting. Emmanuel, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day. What an interesting meeting. This has been quite an interesting meeting, I must say. I thoroughly enjoyed every part of today's meeting. Very quickly, I will be calling on members of my team, the third team, to give their reports on what they observed in today's meeting. The first of member of my team I will be calling upon is the timer. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the virtual lectern our timer for today. First of all, I would like to call upon the speech evaluators. We have 5 speakers today. Our first speech evaluator is Mathilde VISHAL, all the way from Germany. Over to you, Mathilde.
Thank you for handing over, and thank you, Hanane, for the beautiful speech. All of us here, I'm pretty sure, learned a lot. Who of you saw a confident speaker as I saw this? You had a beautiful eye contact, you were self-confident, your English was beautiful, I could understand everything, and I loved your 3 stories and the additional one you were coming up with. The stories made it very easy for us to relate to what you were saying. You had the youth meeting with the interview, you had the job interview and the driving license test. And now we're coming to your additional one, and that was about this meeting. And I would have loved that you started with that. Never, never excuse yourself or be sorry for not creating a short title or anything. Never do excuse in the beginning. But this would have been something we could all have related to when you were saying, I didn't know if I make this meeting. And many of us also created this kind of meeting or were responsible for other Toastmaster meetings or other meetings. We would have related immediately to you. I think this would have been a very good start. I enjoyed your body language, especially when you were talking about the driving, and I would have loved to see some more of this. For example, you could have also used a prop when you were having this interview. You could have like something like this, like a microphone, and you could have a little bit like a dialogue, having 2 people and modulating your voice. I think it would add a little bit more and get more of the attention of the audience, although you had lots of that already. This is just a little recommendation. I loved your humor that you were infusing. As one of our table topic speakers picked it up, you came with "Don't guess my age." And I loved the Coca-Cola for creating curls. That's really one of your real strengths. You should keep that up. That makes us laugh, you relate, you really get the attention of the people and draw everyone in. You should keep that up. That's wonderful. I enjoyed your call for action for living the life at our fullest. Now summarizing it, please start strong the next time and don't excuse. Keep using your personal stories. That's really a pro. And use your body more to support what you're talking about. and keep your beautiful ending and call for action and live your life at the fullest. And please share some more of your stories. Back to you, Mr. Evaluator, Chair, General Evaluator.
Mathilde, for that amazing evaluation. Very quickly, we move on to the next speech evaluator who evaluated the second speaker. Our second speaker today was evaluated by Toastmaster David, all the way from the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster David as he gives a speech evaluation of Toastmaster Dies. Over to you, David.
I think he's on mute.
He's on mute or he's not here. So could we move on to the third evaluator?
Okay, very, very good. If David, while David tries to reconnect, we get to move on to the next speech evaluator. The third speaker for today was evaluated by an amazing individual in person of Toastmaster Hussein from Rabat Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me welcome the speech evaluator for Toastmaster Jai, all the way from Morocco, who was evaluated by Toastmaster Hosam in Morocco. Toastmaster Hosam, you have the floor.
Thank you, dear General Evaluator. Can you hear me, everyone? All right. Dear General Evaluator, dear Toastmasters, dear guests, I was very agog to evaluate dear Toastmaster Jay until I found out that I cannot recommend much for his amazing speech as recommendations to excel in his next speeches. My speech will be divided in two parts. The first part will be dedicated to the strengths of the speech of Jay, while the second part will be, I will try to make one or two recommendations for Jay in order for him to excel in his next speeches. For me, Jay excelled first in terms of content, where he blew us with his amazing lessons he conveyed us, and he conveyed to us about his leadership lessons that he learned from a monkey, first of all, and second, from an old woman. She was crossing the street in a red light. Followers do what followers see, and leadership lessons remain even when no one is watching. So all these lessons were conveyed to us in an efficient manner because Jay was very calm and managed his stress very well and his messages were clear because of his stress management and because of his very excellent communication skills. The third thing where Jay excelled is gesture. Through his gesture, he managed to convey his messages effectively. He began his speech with an effective and strong introduction. For example, he said, agog excitement in the beginning. He said, you and I. Gesture was effective. Fourth point where Jay excelled, and when I have two opinions, is vocal variety. For me, speed and volume were managed effectively by Jay. While concerning the tone, I think that Jay has some improvement to make, at least for me, for my opinion. I think that Jay Jay's tone was a bit high throughout the speech. And for a tone that is high throughout the speech, it is a little bit harsh to listen to a tone that is very high for a consistent, for a long time of period. And if it's, and of course, he knows that there are a lot of exercises that he can practice in order to change, and I recommend this in order to change this tone throughout a speech, through storytelling, and through a number of exercises. So to summarize the points that I have mentioned during this evaluation, Jay excelled in terms of content, in terms of comfort, in terms of gesture, and in terms of volume and speed, while he can work on his high-pitched tone. Back to you, dear General Evaluator.
A round of applause, please, for that wonderful evaluation. Our next evaluator is from Greece. And our evaluator from Greece will be evaluating Grace, a Toastmaster from Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome once again for an interesting and educative feedback, the speech evaluator for the fourth speaker in person of Toastmaster Georgia. Toastmaster Georgia, please take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you, dear members and dear guests. Today, Grace, her goal was to present her experience of managing a project, and I can feel that, yes, I could trust her to take on my next project in enterprise or in my public affairs. In her own words, she had a lot of love in the speech. What I felt when I saw is lucid voice, an ongoing attraction of the audience attention, a vivacious personality and content, and an exuberant passion for the project. So she gave me her love, whatever it is that she was doing. She had a very good command, a very clear language, which allowed me to follow all of the context. In parts, I would have loved to see a little bit of more poses, because especially because when she was introducing the magic word love, I felt that she was running like a stream down and I couldn't even catch her words. Very clever use of her body language when she revealed the magic words, as I'm now revealing the beauty of love behind me. And that was very well calculated and very well served her purpose. Now, what I think would have served even more her speech is the fact that she tried to tell us too many things in 5 to 7 minutes. I felt what would have done justice for this speech is to have a 20-minute presentation, because she gave us so many diamonds. But when you try to say so many things in 5 to 7 minutes, and you have so many original ideas and very beautiful words that the audience wants to keep, it's like casting a light in a seaside and asking somebody in 5 to 7 minutes to see everything. Now, I won't remember anything. So what I would suggest is a change actually of the structure. The same speech, but if she mentioned that she has the reports from the program, and one of the reports is that the people felt a chance to dream. So I would take just this case, this report, and I would, again, if she wants to use the 4 letters of the word love, and I would break it down with my story, intertwining the story with the letters, so I can just relate more to all the beautiful context she was giving us. Overall, a great presentation. I felt the passion and the knowledge she got out from this project. And also I felt that I would like to support this project because of the authenticity of the message and the ethos of the speaker. But since I have to take away only one thing, because that's how much I can cope with within 5 to 7 minutes, what I'm taking away, Grace, is the wisdom you gave us today, which is love is beyond these 4 letters. Yes, love is beyond these 4 letters. And your project and your speech, very well delivered today, is the testament to that. Thank you very much for your project, and please take the challenge next time. Less context and just focus on one idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Georgia. Please give a round of applause for her for that amazing evaluation. Very quickly, we move on to the last and the
I think
speaker.
Emmanuel, I think Div is here.
Okay.
Div,
Thank you very much.
the second evaluator is here.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So very quickly, we take on the evaluation from the second speech evaluator, who is Toastmaster Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dave as he gives the evaluation for the second speaker. Over to you, Dave.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so our second speaker. What made his speech so great? First of all, he had an engaging opening. Very relatable content. I think all of us, as soon as we saw you're on mute, we all got a good laugh out of it. It was a good way to kind of bring us into the story. And originally, I think it was a little bit of a misdirect because we all kind of thought that that was going to be the entire topic of the speech. But in fact, that was just a segue, a way of kind of getting us into a much bigger story. We got to hear a well-organized speech. There were some good statistics that were used. And I really liked the use of idioms. We heard fuel to the fire, straight shooter, sugar laden with praise. And the entire speech was sort of this metaphor relating to being on mute and how that sort of makes you feel. There were some really good visuals that were used through the speech as the speaker was talking. Different images were shown to complement what was being said. Where there was some room for improvement, I would have liked to see some real photos being used. I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I think for this kind of story, some photographs showing people and interactions would have been even better, I think, than some of the visuals that were used. There were, like for instance, a lot of different icons were used. The thumbs up, the mute microphones, and the graph. But I do think that it would be even better to show actual images, scenes depicting some of the things that were discussed. Also, I think there was an opportunity for better vocal variety. I think that in a lot of moments, you want to generally, when you're giving a speech, take us on sort of a roller coaster, ups and downs. And your voice was very easy to listen to. You spoke with a nice, easy cadence. But certainly at different moments, there was an opportunity to kind of really accentuate your voice to make us feel the power of the emotion that was going into those words. Finally, just one final thing. The ending of the speech was just a little bit abrupt. I think that I feel like your message was very strong, but you just sort of kind of ended. And you want to sort of end with a little bit of a punch, a little bit of a zing, perhaps a quote, or just some other really interesting way to wrap up, rather than just kind of, it almost felt like you were ending in the middle of a sentence. Overall, though, this was such an interesting speech. I really did enjoy it from start to finish. Overall, just like I said, think of using some image photos, increase the vocal variety at certain points of the speech, and try to give us a little bit of a punch there at the end. Thank you so much.
So much, Dave. Thank you very much, Dave. That was really interesting and insightful. So quickly we move on to the fifth speech evaluator who evaluated the fifth speaker. Our fifth speaker was from Qatar, and our fifth speech evaluator is from France. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the fifth speech evaluator today, in person of Toastmaster Abdallah, who is evaluating Toastmaster Sharif.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Wow, right in the middle. Chocolate Cake Master and Valentine's Day. We were hooked from the title to the conclusion. Sharif, you did a great job. Thank you very much for this memorable speech. If you allow me, I would like to share my feedback by cutting the cake in 3 parts. The first one is about the unforgettable flavors you offered us. You used a smart metaphor. You spoke about food. When someone speaks about food, everybody listens. And we were delighted to invest our attention in your speech because you used it to make a great story. You are a great storyteller. And you used your mimics and facial expressions to share emotions and also to make the characters of your story very present. First the monster, then your nephew, then your father. And you also use vocal variety. I felt a lot of wisdom during the discussion between you and your father. Thank you so much. The second part is about the ingredients that could be slightly modified. If I understood well, your main message, the essence of your speech is how to handle regret. Well, this message emerged in the second third of your speech. Maybe you can make the message emerge earlier so we can feel deeper the problem with regret. Also, I didn't understood how you managed to handle regret and what was the solution that we can apply to our problems. The third and the last piece of the cake is how we can make a greater recipe. So I think that if you a little bit change the structure, I mean, use the scene with the chocolate and monster, then speak about your professional challenges when you were in a foreign land and you were regretting your decision, and then come back to the choice between chocolate cake and turmeric drink. And also, you can use the transition to create a crescendo effect with the problem with regret. So to sum up, thank you so much, Sharif. You are a great storyteller. You managed and you succeed in this speech, and the oven master is asking for another cake. Back to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Abdallah, for that amazing and interesting evaluation. I want to thank the speech evaluators for doing an amazing job today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we'll move on to the next report, which will be given by the members of the tag team. We have the timer, we have the hour counter, and we have the Grammy. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, please help me welcome to the virtual lectern our timer for today. All the way from Japan. Let me welcome Marcelo.
Yes, excuse me, Emmanuel. We have to do the vote. So please, timer,
Okay, please. Okay.
the vote of
Okay, wait.
evaluator, and then we continue with the tag team.
All right. Please, we're going to have on your screen now the vote for the best speech evaluator. Please select the best speech evaluator, which will be done in 1 minute. Thank you very much, the Zoom Master. Thank you, the Zoom Master. Thank you. Very quickly, move on to the next set of reports, which will be delivered by members of the TAC team all the way from Japan. Please let me welcome our fantastic timer for today, Toastmaster Masai.
Yes, thank you, Emmanuel. Let me report the evaluation speakers time. Unfortunately, David and Husan was a little too long. The other three evaluators, Matilda and Georgia and Abdallah, were eligible, but the voting session already completed. So sorry for
It's
the
okay.
late.
It's international meeting and it's Valentine's Day, so we have to share love, and so it's an exception today. All
Okay.
evaluators are eligible. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much for that amazing report. So very quickly, we move on to our counter. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our counter for today in person of.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Dear Toastmasters, what a great meeting and a pleasure to share this diversity with every one of you. My encounters report today will be very special. I will share my screen to show you the statistics. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, thank you. So, well, all right. My encounters report will show statistics about the three groups, the speakers, the evaluators, and the improvisers. So globally, the evaluators are the ones who use the most the fillers. It can be sounds or words. And then in this graph, we can see that the most used filler sound was with 42%. Then comes but as a word with 22%. But let's see more in details how we did. So globally, as an accounter, it was an egg for me to note all the statistics about the sounds. As you can see, all the speakers, the majority of the evaluators and the improvisers did very well. And then regarding the use of the filler words, we can see that the majority didn't use any of them, but some one or two, and an exceptional 4 times. So, as I said earlier, avoiding to use the fillers can come with silence. But how can be? How to do it practically? When And when having to speak, we tend to look for the right word. And what if I forget what I have to say? So, fellow Toastmasters, here is a tip. Take a look on your breath. Yes, try to synchronize your breath, and then it will come up smoother and easier. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that very graphical report. Very quickly, we'll move on. Reports. And our reports or the English letter. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me welcome our grammarian for today in person of Toastmaster Linda, all the way from Kenya. Hi, Linda. Take it away.
Hello, Emmanuel. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm agog to be part of this meeting today. And thank you, Rabat Toastmasters, for giving me this opportunity to be an active listener. And I'm telling you today, I was challenged to be an active listener. The word of the day today was agog. And the following people used it: Jay, Grace, Sharif, Rena, Hussam. And if I missed anybody, please forgive me. I'm still practicing my active listening skills. I also tried to keep up with the good usage in the meeting today, but my hands couldn't write as fast as the people were speaking. So here's just a summary of some of the words that I heard today that I think were really good. Listen attentively, pay attention. The interview went smoothly. Live life to the fullest. You've got this. The first 30 seconds are the most crucial. Spoon feeding and sugar lacing. Don't give up. Cool and refreshing drink. Monkey see, monkey do. Followers do what followers say. Opportunities are like sunrises. The core lessons. Please patiently wait. Don't let your mistakes define you. These are great words which, if you just think of a perfect way to enjoy Valentine, these are some inspiring words that we've listened to. I was also listening to some few improvements. I focused mostly on the positive. These are just a few that I'll talk about today. One speaker said, we work on our speeches to improve. I would say we work on improving our speeches. That's the way I would use it. The most difficult time I had preparing for my license is when, and then you say when I fell down. When I fall down, you were talking on the present. So I would use when I fall down. People always tell you they do well. I would say people always tell you you're doing well. It's a continuing thing. That shouldn't have been bought. Most of the time we regret, I shouldn't have bought this. That's how I would use it. And then also one speaker said, I always sing for myself. I usually sing to myself. That's how I would use it. These are just a few of the words that I listened to. Other than that, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you as your grammarian. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you so much for that very interesting and amazing report. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to proceed to give my own report as the general evaluator. What a meeting we've had today. Quite interesting meeting with diverse people from almost all the 6 continents that are present in the world today. May I crave your indulgence to give a round of applause to everybody, including you, who have been part of today's meeting. That was really wonderful and very thoughtful for the strategic timing of that meeting, Valentine's Day, which talks about love. And love comes in various forms as diversity and all of that. Now, let me jump to my report. When I came into the meeting, the president was at the door, the virtual door, welcoming everybody, making everybody feel welcome and engaged. That was wonderful. You know, in a physical meeting, this is what we will have ordinarily done. And the virtual space has created no barriers and no boundaries, such that you can still welcome people at the virtual door. Though the meeting started a little bit late, about 10 minutes, because a few people were not able to log in early, we still had a fantastic opening speech from the president. And that set a fantastic tone for the meeting. Everybody was well prepared and they were in the right frame of mind for great time ahead in today's meeting. But Toastmaster of the day was exceptional. You ask me, how? Why? What did he do? Now, a Toastmaster of the day is supposed to lead the meeting on and set the tone of the meeting. And that was exactly what the Toastmaster of today's meeting did. We had a great time as he set the right tone and the right frame of mind for today's meeting. He introduced the theme of the meeting and key us into the objective of the meeting. And that was wonderful. Similarly, the Toastmaster of the day also made sure that all the bios of the speakers were read. So that prepared our mind to what to expect as we listen to their speeches. The introduction of the speakers introduced the evaluators, and you could see that the level of preparation was top-notch. I would like to say that that was a very good adding in terms of the way it stick to the agenda. Well, the topics master explained his role for the benefit of both members and our guests. And somewhat, the questions were related to the theme of the meeting. You could see that the topics were well prepared and they were very short and not vague, which means they were well prepared, they were direct, and they were varied. I also love the fact that the table topics master did not call on people who had roles before, and he encouraged people to use the word of the day. Our speech evaluators were amazing. The quality and the richness in the taste of our evaluators is something you cannot neglect. At some point, I could liken the quality of speeches to an hot chocolate that tastes so good at the mouth and suits your throat as you go down. Because the speech were given on, the speeches for the evaluation were given on a note of encouragement. And some of them used the Toastmasters recommended evaluation method, which is the CRC, commend, recommend, and commend. Most of the evaluators were not too lengthy and they were not too short. And the evaluators was tactical and considerate in their speeches. The third team, that is the timer, the R counter, and the grammarian, were well prepared as they explained their role well. I particularly liked the slide that the R counter used. It was very graphical, and you could see from a glance what you were doing well and what you were not doing well. I believe she will oblige you of a copy if you need it at the end of the meeting. For a meeting so amazing, what could we have done better? That is why we are all here, to see how we can become better leaders, become better speakers, become better presenters through the collective feedback of everybody in the room. In my own opinion, I think that the Toastmaster of the day should use more strategy to ensure that transitions are more entertaining. They were very smooth, but I expected them to be more entertaining. I also like the fact that the Zoom master created a fantastic ambience through introduction of music in those times of breaks and transitions, which kept us alive. And I believe that if the Toastmaster of the day aligns himself in such spirit, we'll have a more jolly and a high energy meeting. Our topics master was near perfect. Even though I would like to say that more topics should be introduced to bring a more livelier meeting. I also like the fact that all our speech evaluators were very constructive in the way they evaluated. And I would suggest that one or two people should be more specific and focus more on areas for future improvement. We all like praises. So let's try as much as possible, whether you're a speech evaluator or member of the tag team, to use a note of encouragement or praise for every member that comes into the meeting. This has been an amazing meeting, and we should try as much as possible to let people engage themselves as much as possible, especially the guests. I would like to thank everyone who has made it so far to this point of the meeting. And that shows your determination to grow, to learn, and become better in all that you do. This has been awesome, and I expect to see this in more clubs all over the world. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to the members of Rabat and everybody who participated, and also you listening to me. Having said this, I will hand over back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator Emmanuel, for this constructive feedback that we for sure will be trying to adapt and apply in our next meetings. Now it's time to test our active listening with a quick with the quiz master session. Najat, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Konnichiwa, namaskar, bonjour, hello, hello in all the languages. Honored to run this session of Quiz Master. Today I will test your concentration, your good listening, and your good view also. So I will start with the first question, and I will use this heart to see, yes, that is good, or I'm angry. So make me happy today with the first question, and we will go together in Morocco. The first question is, Hanan used something on his hair to make it wavy.
Coca-Cola. No, it's me.
Coca-Cola.
Yes, Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So let's go to another question, to Japan with dice. Dice use slides and use a lot of character. I want you to tell me just 5 characters. So who have a good...
You unmute.
I'm talking. No, I'm not on mute.
No, but that's on the that's on the slide.
Okay, yeah. Yes, unmute. And what is it? What other thing? Other character?
Michael and Mary.
I will help you. Diagram. And what is it?
Crying girl. Crying girl.
Yes,
That word, crying girl.
correct.
Yeah. And likes slide. Likes.
Yes, good.
Okay, I'm trying.
There was some graphic.
Graphics, yes, that's correct.
Yes.
The big heart for you.
And the man in the suit, I believe, a man in a suit.
Yes, talking in the phone also, yes. You have a good concentration. So we will move to another question. The third question is, Grace talked about love, and she talk that every letter have a meaning. So what is the meaning of love for Grace? For
Listening, opportunity, vulnerability, and empathy.
Good job. And the last question, Sharif talked about a price of a chocolate cake. How many the chocolate?
Rupees.
50 what?
Rupees.
Rupee. Thank you for your good listening. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Najat, for these questions and for stretching our memory. And so I guess now it's time to for the vote for the awards to know who is the best evaluator, best speaker, and the best improviser. And we will start by the best table topics improviser. So please give me some sounds. The best evaluator, the best improviser is Joe Little from Canada.
Wow. Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Shukran Besef to my hosts.
Shukran.
Thank you. Thank you. Shukran to you too.
Shukran jazilan in Arabic.
Yes. Thank you. And for the evaluation section, the best evaluator of today's meeting is, come on guys, some vibes, is Georgia from Greece.
Oh, Georgia.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Shukran. And also Evharisto from Greek. It's thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Evharisto, Georgia. Evharisto. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you. And congratulations for winning the Best Evaluator prize of today's meeting. And now, the best speaker of today's meeting is Dice Kono from Japan.
Congratulations, Dice.
Congratulations for your speech.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And shukran likum kamlin. Thank you for attending this meeting with us today. Thank you for the interested speeches, the interesting intervention for today during today's meeting. I guess that's it. I will give the mic to to Hanan, the club president, to close this meeting. Thank you all for attending this meeting.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Dataha. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So I will send you the award certificate and the participation certificate to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing this 2 hours with us. And I know that it's a little bit late in some countries. So if you want to add something just briefly, so who want to give some feedback, just briefly.
I will start off. I think it was an amazing meeting, Hanan, and the team. Thank you so much for organizing this, and just meeting people from all over in different time zones was amazing. I loved the speeches, loved the evaluations, loved the table topics, loved all the role players. Good job, and this is what has helped us get through COVID, online Toastmaster meetings. So keep it up, guys, and hope to see you all in another setting, in another meeting. Congrats, everyone.
Thank you, Sharif. Thank you. Thank you. Jay, do you want to add something? Do you want?
Yeah, hi, thank you. From the freezing cold of February in Canada to the freezing cold of February in Japan and all the temperatures in between, from morning in Canada to now midnight in Japan and all time zones in between, this was like the United Nations of public speakers. If I had a flag magnet of all the countries here today, my fridge would run out of space. I loved it. I'm so happy I was here today. So much learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jay. Dice.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes,
not on
yes.
mute, right? Okay. No, thank you so much. And I really didn't expect to get this. This is a bonus, but it was really worth staying up a little bit late for this fantastic meeting. And I hope I can join you guys again. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Dice. Grace.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me at the meeting today. I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it, and I learned a lot as well. So thank you, and well done to all the members of Rabat Toastmasters Club. I look forward to joining you another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Move on to Mathilde. Yeah, Mathilde.
Thank you for sharing. What I'm taking home as Valentine's presents are definitely the love and the chocolate cake. The whole meeting was a pleasure, and it was fun to see the people around the world and hear a lot of stories from around the world. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Mathilde. Now, Georgia.
What can I say? I'm almost crying. I'm really, really moved today because I had a really good time. I wasn't expecting to see so many people from overseas. I knew it was going to be more or less Mediterranean people. And I really like this guy because I feel lonely sometimes in the situation here. And when I see really people I really like on these meetings, oh my God, I have the love that Grace spoke about us. I can feel the love coming in the house. I can feel the love coming in. And may I say, I also learned a lot as a speaker today, and I couldn't be luckier for spending these hours with you. Thank you so much. And well done to Rabat Toastmasters for an excellent, excellent organization.
Thank you, Georgia. Thank you. Abdullah?
Thank you, Hanan. Well, I had the flu last day. That is what my voice is kind of deep. And I think you healed me, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Deep, are you here? Dave?
Yep. I'm right here, just reaching for the mute button. Yes, no, thank you. Thank you for the invitation for the meeting today. Really interesting, great idea having so many different role players from different countries. It's one thing to have a joint meeting with one or two other clubs, and it's a whole nother to invite people from all over the world to take a role at the meeting. I've been to Rabat Toastmasters about 3 or 4 times, and it's always a club that impresses. And I give you guys a lot of credit for innovating and doing things like this. I think all of us appreciated it and benefited from everything we learned today. So just keep on doing what you're doing. You guys have the right stuff.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, thanks again, and happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there, wherever in the world that you are.
Thank you, Dave. Masayo, our timer.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm very happy to serve as a timer today. I like if you all likes my, this is not my timer background, but I recommend you to use the timer background.
Thank you very much, Masayo. Linda, grammarian. I'm sorry if I didn't use the word of the day today.
It's okay. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's amazing to be invited to come and be part of your team. I just visited your club, I think a week before, and then you reached out to me again. Thank you for entrusting me to be part of your international meeting. It was fun. It's my first time doing one of your international. I thought it was very informative, great speakers, and happy Valentine to everyone.
Thank you very much. And lastly, Rania, our dear table topics.
Thank you so much, Hanan, for giving me this amazing, great opportunity to be with you all. I really got impressed today with all these such incredible speakers and improvisers. I really got inspired by lots and lots of ideas, and especially thank you for Adiba. Yes, I liked so much your report. That was really incredible report. I've never seen it before, and this inspired me with lots of things. I may use it in my next Toastmasters meetings, inshallah. Thank you so much for this incredible meeting, and happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you very much. I think it's too late in Japan now. It's midnight, yeah, that's right. It's midnight there. How the time in Japan now?
It's almost
12,
20 minutes past
12:30.
12. So thank you very much. Thank you for attending this meeting. Thank you for sharing your evening or your just night. So good night, good morning for some countries, good evening. Thank you very much. I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Hanan. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, world.
Bye.
Bye, world.
Bye-bye.
Jay,
Bye-bye.
Jay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Jay.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Salam.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Georgia.
Yasuminasai, Nihon.
Thank you. Say hi to your wife.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
right here. Okay.
Yes.
It's so hard to say goodbye today. It's so hard.
Good afternoon, good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, everybody. Thank you, Hanan, and thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I know that you look a little bit sick today. Thank you. We are very sorry. But thank you. You did assist and attend this meeting and play the role of general evaluator. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for the feedback, for the constructive feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Thank you, Joe from Canada.
Thanks for having us. You're all welcome to join us in Canada sometime.
Yeah, of course.
Hind, could you just stop the live?